Is giving massage making you really jealous of your clients and wishing that you were the one on the table instead of them? A lot of massage therapists complain that giving this kind of work makes them feel really sore and beat up by the end of their day, but that's not a given. There are ways to practice good body mechanics that will have you feeling fine day in and day out. So let's talk about those. Let's talk about some more body mechanics concepts that can help you to have a much easier time giving deep pressure in your massage sessions. And we have one great video here that shows some of these basic concepts. We're going to add on to those today and talk a little bit more about how to give force in a way that isn't just using your arm muscles, but actually connecting to your whole body and then using some other forces available to you. So we're talking about three main things today. Gravity, which is always available to you at 9.8 pounds of pressure per second every minute of every day, so you might as well take advantage of it. We're going to talk about centrifugal force, which is an easy way to exponentially add on to what you're already doing. And we're going to talk about bone stacking. All right, so let's use the IT band, which is a dense structure, definitely takes some pressure to get into it. And the quads as an example, so that you can see where you can improve your body mechanics, right? So if I'm standing here trying to work on the IT band, I've got to stoop over, I've got to apply pressure sideways. Right there, I can improve body mechanics by switching to a kneel, but I have no advantage of gravity here. I'm using only my own body force to apply pressure. So the first thing I would do if I'm really intent on doing strong work on the sides of the body is I would switch the position from prone to side lying. And so we're actually going to do that right now. I'm going to drape her back up, and we're just going to switch the position of her body so that I can use gravity to my advantage. So now in this position, in side lying with the IT band up facing the ceiling, I now, when I go to apply pressure, am able to fall into it and use gravity to my advantage. Now I'm falling that way, and gravity is helping me to apply pressure, and this is so much easier on my own body. So if I'm really doing a lot of work on the side of the body, I'm absolutely going to put them in side lying in order to take advantage of gravity to the most degree that I can. I can use any tool here. I can use fingers like I'm doing. I can use palm. I can use elbow or forearm. And all of it, because I'm now going in a more towards the earth direction, I'm totally able to take advantage of the force of gravity. Now, ideally, in order to get at this structure, I would use gravity, because gravity is the strongest force available to us that isn't our own body and can allow us to not use our own muscles to do things. But if I'm in the middle of a session, I haven't chosen to do a side body session, and I might not want to just stick the client in side body for one muscle and then pull her back into prone or supine, there is a second force that we can use to amplify the amount of force that we're using, and that is centrifugal force, right? So if I just try to move in a straight line to draw this, it's not bad, and there's decent force available. But if I add spinning, the center of me turns, and what's happening out here gets all of that force amplified out there. And so what I want to do is place my body in such a way that I can draw an arc using centrifugal force in addition. And as I'm spinning my own center, it becomes much easier to sink into the tissue and much less about my arm muscles doing the work. Let me see if you feel the difference, Mary. So here's a straight line with me trying to just move my body in a straight line and drag my arm through the tissue. It's not bad, right? But it does feel a little bit like I'm pushing. Now, if I just spin, I'm getting good contact. Does it feel any different to you?
Yes, just more specific, I think.
Yeah, and the specific is that it actually, because I'm not pushing my arm into her, my arm gets to relax a little bit. She lets me in deeper, and it feels more specific because it actually is letting me in deeper. So again, you know, there's gravity, which is my best and most favorite force friend, but there's also this centrifugal force spinning that if you can think about adding in a very slight amount of that, can make your job a lot easier. So we got gravity, we got centrifugal force, and the very last concept to really keep in mind is bone stacking. So if I go to apply that force with my elbow bent, I have to fire all of these different muscles in my arm to stabilize my elbow joint, right? And so if I'm bent, now I'm firing pecs, I'm firing biceps, I'm firing forearms, and all of that is going to tire me out throughout a shift. If, however, I can line up the humerus and the forearm bones and keep a relatively straight line and use the rest of my body through that line, leaning in, I'm getting gravity. If I add a spin to it, I'm getting centrifugal force. And last but not least, I'm getting the strength of my bones and ligaments and tendons, which are stronger and more stable structures than muscles, to hold the shape. And so my muscles have a lot less to do. And therefore, the more and more I can line these things up, and throughout a shift, the less and less effort I feel like I've put in by the end of the day, and I'm a lot less tired. So let me just have you see what you feel like on that, Mary. So here's with my arm bent. And do you feel, so take a note of what that feels like. And now here's with my arms straight and locked in. Do you feel a difference, Mary?
I do.
And describe the difference that you feel?
I think with the first time, I could feel some tension.
Yeah, exactly. And so here's another concept that will make your lives a lot easier. If you push into the tissue, this is a bonus concept, if you will. If you push into the tissue will push back, right? It doesn't like the feeling of being pushed into, and it will resist that. If you fall into the tissue and relax your own body into the tissue, their nervous system mirrors that and will relax as well and let you in deeper with a lot less effort on your part. All right, there you go. My top tips for good body mechanics for giving good deep tissue pressure without killing your own body. If you have any other great tips for our viewers, please let us know in the comments below what yours are, and we'd love to hear them. And if you like this video, we think you're going to like this one too.